Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. The stock market is open, so you already know we are buying stocks and we are adding assets to the portfolio. Well, we are about halfway into the month of March and the dividends are starting to stack up. We have about $570 worth of dividends. We have more dividends coming on Friday. We've started to stack some assets that are now paying every single Tuesday, which is nice to see. We have some other ones trickling in. We have some quarterlies trickling in. And it should be another four-figure month, so that's nice. I want to talk about today what assets we're buying, what assets I have been buying, and are we still on track to hit $25,000 worth of dividend income by the end of the year? How we're going to do it, how it's going to scale over the next couple of months. And of course, as always, every single Wednesday, we are buying more assets and we are stacking our passive dividend income. So let's jump into it. First things first. On the graphic, we have BITO that is leading the race as of right now. We recently got put some shares, 100 shares, and we also bought some more shares. So we have 200 shares of BITO, and I love having this position back. If we get some massive pops in Bitcoin, I may end up selling some covered calls on this for some additional income. But the crazy thing is I did the math, and we can break this down in a little bit. My share cost is now down to almost $9 a share through options income and dividend income, which is great. Coney coming in, really bad payment at $59. JEPQ at 16, which is pretty regular. MSTY at 137 will be coming in on Friday. Below, I think it's their lowest payment so far, but it is what it is. YMAX at 112 had a nice payout last Friday. A terrible payout coming up this week. We'll go over that. QDT, RDT, and XDT coming in like they do each and every single week. This week's going to be a lot better. So let's jump into the nitty-gritty. Let's take a look at some numbers. Let's take a look at some charts. Let's buy some stocks together. And of course, as always, full transparency. These are all the dividends that came in this dividend-only account where we focus on building the bricks each and every single week. We have some high dividend payers. We have some backbones to the account that give us a little bit of growth exposure. And we just buy stocks and we add money every single week. So let's go over it. TSW, this is a new position. It's a little bit leveraged, I think 1.2x on Tesla. We are absolutely getting wrecked when it comes to Tesla. It has basically eliminated all of the presidential rally. And I want to buy a little more because I love the exposure to the stock. I love Teslas. Of course, I have one, and it's one of my favorite cars I've ever owned. So TSW 592 came in on March 4th. JEPQ 1593, RDT 28. QDT 33, XDT 27, CONY 59, YMAX 112, BITO 144, and then TSW coming in this week as well at $4.35. And that is all the dividends we've received so far. I think last week we had about $425 or so worth of dividend income. And we're slowly but surely stacking up. So let's take a look at the account. As of right now, we're having a good day today at 33,722. The account is still down quite a bit. I have a lot of crypto-related stocks in here. We have some options on the table that aren't looking as good, but we will see next week when it comes to expiration. And we've had a lot of stuff pull back. Obviously, the SPY is pulled back from over 600 down to 550s. QQQ is pulled from the low 500s down to 477. And there's some opportunity there for long-term investors. And so we're going to invest in just that today. Buying power, 10,370. We have some options on the table with Connell. Right now, those 24s are in the money. The 15s are out of the money, so those are looking good. But we still have a week left there, and I think we're going to get a nice rally over the next week. So we're just going to let those sit for right now, and we will see how they are next week. Bitcoin's trading at 82,000, which is super low. And hopefully we get a push up. We hit the 200 mark in SCHD, which is awesome. And we also hit the 10 share mark in VTI, which I love to see. And then the rest of them are stacking. Today's purchase is going to be in JEPQ, and then I want to go over TSW as well, right? So we're going to come into JEPQ, and we are going to be buying some shares. What did we have? We have 36 shares. We're going to come in here, we're going to buy 2 more shares. It's going to cost us $104, and the reason why we're only doing 104 is because yesterday I bought some TSW on the pullback. So 2 shares added there. This one pays roughly 50 cents a month, so that's going to add about $1 of dividend income each and every single month going forward, which is nice to see. And it brings us to about 4% of the portfolio. We're still up nice on the position, about 6.44%, but this one has pulled back significantly, down 4.29% for the past week, down 10% for the past month. And yeah, year to date about 7.62. So this one's pulled back, and that just means I want to buy some more shares. Would I buy shares if it was up? Yeah, I don't really worried about it. I'm trying to get to 50 shares. In JEPQ, we're at 38 as of right now. We're just going to keep buying. We are at 25 shares of TSW. We recently started this position. This one has been obliterated since it opened up. This started at 51.41. It is now down to $32.15. My average cost is $43.93. We're down about 26% on this position, but I want to show you why, right? If we pull up Tesla's chart, this stock is getting absolutely killed. Down 11% for the past week, 28% for the past month, 36% year to date, and 3 months down 41.4%. So that stock has been absolutely beaten up. It was trading as high as $480, now at $248, which brings it back to where it was trading in what, November, I want to say? Yeah, we were trading back in this range back in early November. So it's erased all of its gains, and I want to have a little bit of exposure to the pop on that. Plus, I like the weekly Tuesday dividend payout. We just increase our income every single week there. So what did I do? Well, I bought some shares this week. And you can see it here. I bought some shares on March 5th, 5 shares, March 11th, 5 shares, and then you can see my dividends are coming in as well. Now, they do not allow dividend reinvestment on this one as of right now. If the assets under management get high enough, I can't remember what it was. I think the threshold, I can't remember if it was like 5 million or what the AUM was, but they do not allow dividend reinvestment on it right now. We will keep an eye on that. But as of right now, it just pays me back the cash every single week, and then I can obviously invest it where I want to. So that's the ad there. We're not adding to TSLY. We're not adding MSTY. We're not adding to CONY or NVDY. Those are in a race to pay themselves back. BITO, I am looking probably to add this if we get under 17. I don't think we'll get there, but if we do, we may add some more there. YMAX is on drip, and then same with all my DTs. Those are just on drip. I'm not adding to those actively. And of course, SHD and VTI, I'm adding $5 a day, every day, no matter what, on auto purchase. And I will continue to do that. Those are more of my growth plays. So those are all the plays in the account as of right now. I do want to go over the dividends, right? So if we come back here and we go over the dividends, we had some nice payouts. Last week was absolutely terrible. So it's nice to see a little bit of a rebound. Pay date, as always, on Friday. QDT paying 23.3 cents a share, up from the 15.1 cents last week. XDT 24.3, up from 14.2 last week. RDT 30 cents, up from the 14.9 last week. So that is the update on the Roundhill products. I do want to take a look at YieldMax. Let's pull that up here and look at their dividends. Some are okay, but you know, honestly, I'm not too stoked about how the dividends are looking, if I'm going to be dead honest with you. When we look at MSTY, $1.37 is going to be the payout there. We are way below average. Average is $2.89 before this payout. This is going to bring the average payout down significantly. The highest payout that I remember seeing was $4.42. The lowest payout I recall is about $1.85. So we're way under the lowest. Now, MSTR has been absolutely obliterated since then, so I'm not shocked that the payout's low, but I'm bummed about it. Another one that we're obviously invested in is going to be YMAX, down 10 cents, down to 10 cents, really, really low. So another low payout. So disappointing MSTY, disappointing YMAX for me. I'm okay with TSW's payment, and I'm okay with all the DTE payment. Those ones actually came in, you know, not too far off the average. So that's the update for there on this week. And then if we want to jump into the Roundhill, I know we already talked about the DTEs, but some of you may be invested in some of their other products. So yeah, here's the update for YBTC. It is 32 cents. So not too bad there, but I do want to jump into a couple of other things. First things first, I want to jump into JEPQ, right? We just added some shares of JEPQ. I just want to talk about this stock real quick. So, or ETF, I should say. Dividend yield, 10.92%, so not too bad. Under 1% a month, but it has held up the NAV really, really well. $5.65 a year, and the last payout was 48 cents. If we go to our dividend history here, you can kind of see it's pretty close to that 40 to 50% every single month. So I love to see that. 48, 45, 45, 50, 49, 55, 55, 42, 42. So super, super consistent when it comes to the dividends, which is nice to see. I think it's going to hold up there. When we go to the actual chart, it's looking pretty good. If you look at the S&P, obviously, opposed to that, it's not looking so great. But when we come in here and we add, let's see. Let me grab, oops, sorry. Cancel there. Oh, select the symbol. There we go. We want to add QQQ. When we compare it to QQQ, now this is not including any of the dividends, QQQ's trading right around their SPY. You can see all of them have all dropped off. So it's just what happens. It goes up, it goes down. I'm buying this dip as much as I can. Now you could go in here and you could put in the total return, including dividends. But this one just doesn't pay a whole lot of dividends, so it doesn't matter too much. I mean, we're talking about, 40, 50 cents a month, so it's super low. But total return is really good, right? So I'm not too mad about it, and I think it'll do fine long term. Let me look at the 3-year chart on this. Yeah, 3.12%, so not too terrible, but I'm okay with it. Another one I've been looking at potentially adding is PLTW, which is a payer every single Wednesday, and then potentially week WEEK as well. So those are two that I am looking at potentially adding, but as of right now, I am not adding anything. I do want to do an update on the spreadsheet because we've got a lot going on, and I want to talk about how we're going to get to that $25,000 goal, because as you guys have seen, I had a $1,500 month in January, a $1,300 month in February, and right now we're queued up for about 570. We should break 1,000, no problem, but I want to talk about it. So where are we at? 570. We haven't received, the MSTY is going to be coming in on Friday. MVDY is going to be coming in as well. We still have SEHD coming in, TSLY coming in, and VTI coming in. And then, of course, all my weekly payings are going to continue to stack up. I'm guessing that TSW is going to end the month about maybe $21, $22 total dividends. And then SHD will probably come in around $50 or so. We're not sure there. VTI, I think, is going to be around that $10 figure. So we're looking pretty good there. $3,506 worth of dividend income so far in 2025, which is almost half of what we received in 2024 when you put it into perspective. We're about 14% of our way to our annual dividend goal of $25,000, and we're about 40% of the way to our monthly goal. Now, after all these payments hit this week, we're going to be looking even better, right? QDT should be paying us around $52, XDT around $50, RDT around $58, YMAX should be coming in at about $114. And actually, I got to switch this. T117, that's really interesting. Let me pull this up here real quick. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to have to get that updated. It is going to be T116 since we added the new data. Let me just come back here and get that fixed. Where are you? Apologize for that. We added the new data and we got to get this updated. Boom. All right, so 10 cents a dividend, only going to be $47, so a significant change from last week, obviously. And then MSTY is going to be coming in about $137. So we have $343 on deck that is going to be coming in on Friday, which will be nice. It'll average things out and it'll increase our income. So far in total, since we started this channel, at zero, we've received $13,054 worth of dividend income. And where is it coming from? This month, 39% from YieldMax, 20% from Roundhill, and 39% from others. So I like that we are starting to diversify a little bit. It's not all YieldMax, it's not all Roundhill, and it's not all other. We are slowly diversifying and we are evening out the chips. One thing I want to talk about, we talked about this earlier. BITO so far has paid me $1,626 worth of dividend income since inception. Now, obviously, we've gotten in shares, we've gotten out of shares, but as of right now, we own 200 shares at a cost basis of $4,024. We received $577 worth of call income and put income on that, and which takes off about 18, or which brings our average cost down to $9 $2.10, which is not too bad, to be honest with you. That's a pretty dang good cost basis when it comes to owning BITO, especially for a stock that's paying me about $130 to $160 a month in dividend income. We're going to be down to zero in the matter of by the end of the year. So that's where we're looking there. I love to look at this graph. Why? Because it just shows the progress that we're making, right? If you look at January, 2 years ago, we were at zero. Last year, we're at 204. This year, 1557. If you look at March, 2 years ago, we were at $8.87. Last year, $357. This year, $570 so far. And obviously, we're going to continue to go. So I love to see that. I love to see the growth. But this is what we're really talking about, right? This is how I'm going to get it to 25,000. You can see the total here at the bottom is 24,776. Now, this is obviously just estimations based on the growth that I think is going to happen in this account. There's two things that are going to happen here that are really going to drive the growth. One being added capital. We deposit fresh cash each and every single week, no matter what. I take zero cash out of this account and I reinvest all my premiums, right? So those are some important things when it comes to growth. You can't just get to $25,000 worth of dividend income by not doing those things, right? If you're pulling out of the account, it is very hard to grow. So all I'm doing is I'm adding money every single week. And you guys can see I've already added $3,500 worth of fresh capital to this account in 2025. And on top of that, we've also added a couple $1,000s worth of dividend reinvestments, right? So in March, my goal is $1,446. In April, 1533, May, 1641, June, 1772, July, 1931. And this is where it really starts to pick up, right? And why is it picking up? Because we're going to have all this new capital that'll be injected over the next 3-4 months. We're going to reinvest all of the premiums. We're going to continue to trade options and collect income off that and throw that into the dividend account. And the snowball starts getting really big. Then we get to 2,100, 2,300, 2,600, 2,900, and I'm hoping we get to 3,400 by the end of December. Now, this is just a projection based off of growth every single month. This is how I think we're going to do it. Now, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Of course, the quarterly dividend months are going to be higher than the non-quarterly dividend months, right? That's just how it's going to be. But this is kind of the growth pattern I'm seeing, and this is the pattern that I'm laying out in order for me to get to that $25,000 worth of dividend income. If you need the proof, I got a screenshot here. You can see every single deposit with zero withdrawals. These are all my transfers in and out of the account. You can see one thing. Every single one says deposit. Right from Wells Fargo. Deposit, deposit, deposit. I have zero withdrawals, and we are consistent. We have it on automated, $100 a week, and there's no joke in that, right? So that's one thing I would advise anybody to try and do is just continually add to their brokerage's account. If you really want to build your dividend snowball, one of the easiest ways to do it, of course, is not pulling capital out and continuing to add capital. There will be later times, and you guys know I'm building this whole portfolio so I can pay my mortgage someday, right? So in 5 to 10 years, I'm going to be pulling out money, and I want to be able to live on that money, and I want to be able to keep this account sustainable without NAV erosion. So right now we're in the building process. Later on in life, we will be in the pulling out process. So just wanted to showcase that. Weekly dividends are looking really good. You can see here total return has been hit really hard, but we're still in the green on QDT at 6.37%. We're about 15% of the way to our goal from last month, or in comparison to last month. XDT at 5.2 total return. We're about 17% of the way to where we were last month. RDT, we are at negative 0.95, so basically breaking even on this, and we're up 16.67% of where we were at from last month's dividend. And then YMAX is at minus 5.23%. This one has been getting hammered with the market, and dividends are down big time, but we still are at 41.36% of where we were at from last month when it comes to dividends. That is because we had a massive payment on Friday, and as you saw, the payment this Friday is going to be absolutely terrible. So it will even out. This is the updated data here. Just quickly going over that, we are flat on QDTE. We are staying with the trend line. XDT trending up as of right now. RDT trending down. And then YMAX, we are trending down as well. So that's all the data. That's where we're at. Share count goal, we just continue to push forward. You can see here, if you want to screenshot this, the growth that we have had since the start of the year. SCHD, big time ads. VTI, big time ads. All the DTs, everything we've just been adding to. And it's nice to see the share count slowly ripping up. We only need about $9,200 worth of purchases to hit all of my goals for 2025. We already clept out TSLY on the goal list. JEPQ is the next one on the list. We need about $717 worth of fresh capital in order to hit my 50 shares there. We just added 2 shares today, so that should put us to about 38 shares or so there, and less capital to get that done. So we're just going to continue to do it. We're going to let drip do its thing. In 36 weeks, XDT will hit the 250 share count go on its own. QDT should hit it in about 28 weeks. RDT about 50 weeks. So we may have to inject capital there to hit the 250 shares by the end of the year, but it's a slow game. And then YMAX, we're almost there. Right now, the drip is absolutely insane on YMAX. Especially with the shares down, we're able to drip even more shares. So we'll probably hit that in the next 2 weeks, which is insane to think about that YMAX is already at the 500 share count goal. So that's the update for the week. Hope everybody is stacking the bricks. Hopefully your dividend income is looking really nice and you're continuing to purchase, especially on these dips. And this is just part of the market. Stay strong, stay in there. There's ebbs and flows in the market, and I try not to just worry about it. I try to just buy assets each and every single week. So I appreciate everybody as always. Happy investing. Don't forget to drop a like and a sub, and we will catch you next video.